Hi, seniors. So we are back after a very crazy week. The only way I could figure out how to fairly end the fourth 6 weeks is to actually give you time today and tomorrow as part of your class time. I'm using air quotes here, class time, to do the bonus activities if that is something that you choose to do. I do want to emphasize these activities are for bonus, which means that they are in fact optional. So if you don't plan on doing the bonus activities, that is okay. Your other option for today and then of course tomorrow would be to either read A Thousand Splendid Suns if you have not finished doing that, or you can choose one of the books from the bonus list to read. There's not going to be another assigned text that we're going to read in class. For class time, but reading outside of class. When we do The Importance of Being Earnest, that's something we'll actually read together during class time. And so, I would encourage you to read a bonus book if you're not going to do these bonus activities today and tomorrow. The bonus activity for today on Monday the 22nd is that you guys are going to look over your Q1 timed writing over the Centaur. And let me show you where to find that real quick. That is in turnitin.com. This is my teacher version, but it is the assignment that says, let me find it. Here it is. Q1 timed writing dash women focused poetry. And so that's the one from January 20th. If you open that up, you're going to see your assignment and you're going to see lots of feedback that I have provided to you, probably. Now, if you did super well on it, you probably have less feedback. But this one was a poem that a lot of you guys struggled with. And so I really think the debrief is important for you guys to do. And of course, you do get bonus points if you complete this debrief. I want to go over the poem real quick. The Centaur, of course, it was about the narrator who recalls a time when she was 10 years old. And when she was 10, she leaves the house and she becomes a horse, and she's like half girl, half horse. And she does that through make believe and pretend. It says that she chooses a fresh horse from her stable, which was a willow grove down by the old canal. She used her brother's jackknife. I think this detail about it being her brother's jackknife and not her own was something that a lot of you guys missed. It was the idea that she, as a girl, was not allowed to have her own knife. She had to, in fact, borrow her brother's. She said she cut a long, limber horse with a good thick knob for a head. So she's actually creating a stick horse for herself. She peels him back, removes most of the leaves, but leaves some for the tail. And then this other detail again, look, it's her brother's belt. She cinched up her brother's belt. I think there's a lot of verbs here that you can look at. The peeled, the cinched, the straddle, the canter, that are really kind of masculine verbs that you ought to take a look at. Because she's really kind of leaving this world where she is expected to behave in a certain way because of her gender. She goes on and she slowly becomes the horse, right? My hair flopped to the side like the mane of the horse in the wind. Again, look at these verbs: the snorted, the shied, the skittered, the reared. Over here, let me come up here. My teeth bared as we wheeled. And look, right here, she says we. She and the horse are one at this point. She even says it here. I was the horse and the rider all at once. She slapped, spanked, doubled. She galloped. Okay, so she is the horse. And then she gets home. She dismounts. She tethers her horse. So she puts the horse away. Let me back up here. Notice that she's hugging his ribs. It's like she's desperately trying to stay one with him. Then she gets home. She gets to the porch. She has to tether her horse. So she has to kind of put it to the side and calm it down, keep it around, but it can't come inside with her. She dismounts. She immediately smooths her skirt. She enters the dusky hall. Her feet are now on clean linoleum, so she's left the wildness of this make-believe childhood experience where she's out in the meadow with this make-believe horse running around. She comes inside to clean linoleum, and her mother says, "Where have you been?" She says that she's been writing, and she gets a glass of water, right? Because she's now becoming human again. She needs to kind of calm down, clean herself up, take a drink of water. The mother notices that she has something in her pocket. The girl responds with, "It's just my knife." The knife weighted her pocket and stretched her dress, so her dress couldn't be crisp and clean and appropriate because she was carrying her brother's knife still. And what does her mother say? Her mother says, "Go tie your hair back." She criticizes her. She says, "Why is your mouth all green?" And the girl says, "Rob Roy," so this is what she's named the horse, "he pulled some clover as we crossed the field." So notice that her mother is slightly frustrated, not upset, but slightly frustrated. She's criticizing her. She tells her to go tie her hair back. Why is your mouth all green? In other words, why are you not all prim and proper and neatly looking neat in your appearance? And so it's this idea that she uses the horse as an escape from these societal expectations of being a prim and proper girl, right? A lot of you talked about the fact that she had a great imagination and how important imagination is to children. But if you're not looking at all the gendered language and this implication from the mother about what society expects, even the mother expects for her to be a certain way, then you're really missing the heart of the poem. So if you're talking about just her imagination, that's kind of surface level. It's correct, but it's not going to score well if you haven't looked at the poem in its complexity, right? The other thing that I kind of saw with all of these, the other issue that I saw with a lot of these essays is that a lot of you, when you talked about her make-believing, you didn't focus on the fact that she became a horse. And I think this is really key. You know, it's not like she's make-believing and having a tea party with her dolls. She very specifically becomes a horse, and you have to ask yourself, then why the horse? Why not a tea party with dolls? Why isn't she make-believing in some other way? And I think the idea is, especially when you look at all of the verbs in particular, here we have swished, and you see a lot of these verbs kind of imply that she has a certain freedom, and it's almost a physical freedom. Because she chose to make believe that she was a horse rather than stay in the confines of what society expects her gender to do, which would be like stay in the house, have a tea party with dolls. So yes, she has an imagination, but what is she using the imagination for? So you've really got to dig a little bit deeper to look into the complexity of this particular poem. And if you don't look at the complexity, it's not going to score certainly not a 5 or 6, but it's possible you're not even going to score a 4 if you're not looking at the complexity. If you're only looking at the fact that she has an imagination, you are correct, but that's typically going to score a 3, which is kind of on the lower half. So I want you to complete the debrief activity by looking at the feedback that I gave you in turnitin.com and then do the debrief activity, which you will then need to submit to turnitin.com. It is, have I even added it? I haven't even added it at this point. I will add it for you guys so that you can add your debrief activity to turnitin.com. And of course, it's optional. Let me know if you have questions. I am here to help. Bye.